Sure. So I'll start on what I believe to be digital transformation. So for me, it refers to the adoption of digital technologies and tools to fundamentally change and enhance the way all types of organizations operate and also deliver value and services to groups or individual users. It involves leveraging these solutions to streamline processes, improve efficiency, and create new business models or ways of delivering a number of products and services to users, organization, businesses.
Digital transformation is all about, integrating digital technology. I mean, we talk obviously here about mobile devices, the internet, just to give two examples into all aspects of a business or society, fundamentally changing how it operates and deliver values to customers and citizens. I think we are already, like you said, into a more and more connected world. I mean, just to give an idea of the dimension of the phenomenon, and according to, I think, to recent studies, there's going to be around 500 billion devices that are going to be expected to be connected to the internet by 2030. That just gives a scale and dimension of the digital transformation that the world is experiencing at this moment in time. From my perspective as well, when we talk about digital transformation, and just to give a bit of examples into the different vertical or industries that we see in the world. I mean, for example, in the retail industry, it is about, for example, implementing mobile payment systems, creating some new personalized shopping experience. If you look at the healthcare markets, about adopting electronic health records, telemedicine services for remote consultations. Financial services is about mobile banking apps, using blockchain for secure transactions and smart contracts. So it's just few ideas, a few examples that we see of adoption of new technologies, but obviously involves transforming processes, like you said, culture, and changing the customer experience to meet the demands of the digital age.
Exactly, and I think it's important to remember, I suppose, digital transformation is just not really just about the technology, the software, or the solutions, but really more of an approach that involves cultural, organizational, strategic changes. It's driven by the recognition that embracing these digital capabilities is essential for organizations or individuals to stay competitive and connected, and also to adapt to market changes, business changes, country changes, and obviously meet the evolving expectations of users that have got mobile phones, that have got laptops, and also large organizations and even government entities and countries as well that want to take on this approach. So yeah, it's something that's becoming more and more apparent in the region and in the world, and really giving them these tools to take them in these directions is becoming really important. And we're hoping that we can help.
What we're seeing is Africa as a whole, as a continent, has been experiencing a digital revolution driven by factors such as increasing internet penetration, mobile connectivity, and obviously the proliferation of smartphones. I think the continent has a young and tech-savvy population, which obviously presents opportunities for innovation and growth in the digital sector. And I think both governments and businesses across Africa are increasingly recognizing the importance of digital transformation for economic development and competitiveness. And just to give a few examples of countries undergoing digital transformation projects, we can talk obviously about Nigeria to start with. So they've been witnessing significant digital transformation initiatives, particularly in their tech hubs such as in Lagos and Abuja, and the government has been promoting policies to foster innovation and entrepreneurship in the tech sector. If we look at, for example, Kenya, which is quite interesting, They've emerged as a leader in digital innovation with initiatives such as the M-Pesa, revolutionizing the mobile payments. I mean, Nairobi is known as a hub for tech startups, and the government's been investing in digital infrastructure and e-gov services. If you look at South Africa, for example, they have a well-developed digital infrastructure and obviously a growing tech ecosystem, especially looking at cities like Johannesburg and Cape Town. And again, the government's been focusing on initiatives to drive digital skills development and expand internet access to the underserved areas. So obviously, this is just 3 examples. There's many more examples, and that just with obviously the goal is to obviously harness the power of technology to drive inclusive growth, improve access to essential services, and foster innovation and entrepreneurship.
And leading on from that, as Geoffrey rightly said, I mean, I was reading between 2019 and 2022, over 160 million Africans gained access to broadband. And the majority of those people will have access to a laptop, they'll have access to a mobile phone. It provides a massive opportunity for the regions to adopt the wide range of different digital transformation tools and solutions that are available. It does provide a challenge for a lot of organisations and governments to ensure that this is done properly. And as Geoff has rightly said, which is why a number of these large African countries such as Uganda and Zambia and Kenya, as Geoff mentioned, have really gone into huge, ambitious strategics and remote roadmaps to get everybody digitally transformed by 2030. So there's some really exciting things happening in the region. And there's also a number of really exciting products and solutions that are available on the market. eSignatures, I mean, they play a crucial role in enabling the digitization of processes, for driving the transformation of digital processes within organizations, for supporting individuals, businesses and organizations in Africa to, simply put it, get documents signed, to be part of workflows, to ensure that documents are signed in the correct way and the correct person is signing those documents. And the e-signatures eliminate the need for physical paperwork and manual signatures. We're still going through and seeing customers and organizations that are actually printing out documents, they're taking it to someone's desk, they're signing it with a pen, they're scanning it, they're sending it to someone else via email, which is probably not a secure means. Then they're printing it and someone else is scanning it. So there's so many easy mistakes that can be made from that. It's not secure to have documents printed out onto a public printer or even within a business organization. Not only that, but it significantly accelerates the approval and signing processes, reduces the time it takes to complete transactions or get documents signed and agreed to. Traditional paperwork and printing costs are high. These are eliminated, and obviously there's a lot of people out there and a lot of organizations and governments that are very aware of the impact of using paper and using toner and using energy to print them. So there's a lot of benefits to e-signatures for digitization, and they're just a few of them.
Yeah, sure. I think you've mentioned all the main points. I think one of the advantages you just mentioned before is using e-signature make it just easier for people to participate in business transactions, regardless of their location, because those documents can be signed and processed much faster than traditional methods, obviously accelerating business cycles and decision-making processes. I think there's an aspect that you've been touching on, which is quite important when we look at e-signature, is obviously the compliance part. Many e-signature solutions comply with regional and international standards and legal frameworks, such as the eIDAS regulation in Europe, providing a secure and legally binding way to sign documents. And they also And that is obviously the base of the partnership between Ascertia and Utimaco. Is this solution employ, advanced encryption and authentication measures to ensure the security and integrity of signed documents, and that helps prevent obviously fraud and unauthorized alteration, instilling trust in digital transactions.
Yeah, leading on from that point, Geoffrey, it's a good one. Some of the apprehension in the past on eSignatures has been based around the security based around it. People wanted wet signatures, in-person signatures, but with the adoption of the eIDAS qualified level of signatures, and as you rightly said, with Ascertia working with Utimaco to adhere to these very strict rules, more and more individuals and organizations and government entities are seeing the true security that's put behind these levels of signatures, and they're becoming more and more popular and more accepted throughout the world. And yeah, it's good to be a part of that project and to bring those solutions to the world. And I've got no doubt in the future these are the sort of levels of signatures that will become the norm throughout the world, and especially in Africa as well. The level of assurance is really a crucial factor when choosing the right type of e-signature for your business needs. It refers to a degree of confidence and trustworthiness associated with the electronic signature process. So in many signing solutions, you may have just a basic signature, which could be just a squiggle on a screen. It could be when you're going on holiday and you're renting a jet ski and they just want a little squiggle. There's not a great deal of security sitting behind that squiggle, but you can take a level of assurance all the way up to the highest level, which is eIDAS qualified. And for that, there is a level of security that you have to go through to be issued a certificate. That could be an online video vetting where an individual is sitting in front of you and you have to share your passport. You go through a strict vetting. So there's a real level and a layer of security over the top of issuing that person with a certificate, much like a passport. So when a person signs with that level of signature, there's a lot of trust behind that individual actually signed that document, or they made that sign-in transaction. And obviously the different types of e-signatures offer varying levels of assurance, and selecting the appropriate level is important for meeting legal requirements, ensuring security and aligning with the sensitivity of transactions, or what requirements are there for individuals or organizations, or even the different levels of security of assurance that's required within different companies or different countries.